I know we're all more than familiar with our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Peter Parker, but did you know there are other spider-themed heroes out there that can do things Peter can't do? What's going on, all you nerdy folk out there? My name is Jack, and today we are going to be talking about Earth-65's web-slinging hero, Spider Gwen, and all the abilities you might or might not know that she has. If you find yourself asking, who's Spider Gwen? Well, let me give you the rundown. Also known as Spider-Woman and Ghost Spider, Earth-65s Gwen Stacy is the drummer for the band The Mary Janes and very good friends with Peter Parker of this Earth. After being bitten by a genetically engineered spider, Gwen was granted the spider-like superpowers we're oh so familiar with and started a career as a crime fighter dubbed by the media as Spider-Woman. Peter idolized Spider-Woman, and in an effort to be as special as she was, he conducts an experiment on himself and becomes this universe's The Lizard, and Gwen ends up killing him, not realizing it's Peter. Being blamed for Peter's death by the media, she doubles down on her fight on crime in order to clear her alter ego's name. But anyways, enough backstory, let's talk about her powers. Number 10, her unmatched detective skills. Now, Gwen has an incredibly analytical mind, one that seems like it was made for the sole purpose of detective work. It's no wonder she became a superhero after obtaining her powers, because combined with her above-average intelligence and her incredibly strong sense of justice, she uses her skills to hunt down the most dastardly villains from her universe. And, you know, of course, being the daughter of a police officer helps, as she was already familiar with police protocols and their methods. Number 9, her superhuman equilibrium. Ever wonder how every version of Spider-Man is able to seamlessly swing around their respective cities, jump around from incredible heights, and slide through any opening while still maintaining their composure and positioning? Well, it's because of their unmatched equilibrium, and Spider-Gwen is no different. Gwen possesses the ability to achieve a state of perfect equilibrium in any position imaginable. She seems to be able to adjust her position by instinct, which enables her to balance herself on virtually any object, no matter how small or narrow. Speaking of web-slinging and seamless movement, who is excited for the Miles Morales Spider game that is announced for the PS5? Man, Spider-Man PS4 was one of my favorite superhero games to date, so obviously I am getting that as soon as it comes out. But, sorry, we're getting off track, let's keep going. Number 8. The ability to create her own powers. Okay, now, technically she doesn't have this as a superpower, but in Disney XD's animated Spider-Man series, her Spidey origin is changed around a little bit. In the series, we see Spider-Gwen creating the illusion of most of her powers. As a native of Miles Morales' dimension, Gwen Stacy took over the Spider-Man mantle after Miles was transported to Peter Parker's dimension. Then, after stealing her technology from her father's robot program and teaming up with her universe's Aunt May, Gwen managed to simulate her spider powers without actually having any. She uses magnetic grips in her gloves and her boots to accomplish wall crawling, as well as digital sensors in her mask to simulate having spider senses. Number 7, super agility. Sure, Peter Parker may be agile, but he is nowhere near Gwen's level. Her agility is really where she shines compared to the other spider heroes. Her being more slender and having a much lighter frame, she can count on her body to take her that little bit further. This is most evident in her appearance in the Disney XD series, especially when you consider that she doesn't actually possess many powers in that universe. Number 6, spider strength. Although this is generally associated with Peter Parker's Spider-Man, this is a power that Spider-Gwen also possesses. With the proportional strength of a spider, she's able to lift up to 10 tons or 20,000 pounds with ease. Combined with her signature fighting style, this makes Spider-Gwen an opponent you do not want to face one-on-one. Number 5, unlimited webs. Now, unlike Peter Parker, Spider-Gwen's web shooters are self-sufficient and don't need to be refilled. Designed by the retired crime fighter and billionaire mogul Janet Van Dyne, the mechanisms help filter moisture from the air to create an adhesive web fluid that can create web nets, ropes, and globs, and many other shapes, as well as help her swing from building to building. Number 4, superhuman durability. Thanks to that spider bite, Gwen's body is physically tougher and more resistant to some types of injury than the normal body of a human. Her body is more resistant to impact forces than anything else, so she can withstand greater impacts such as falling from a height of several stories, or being struck by an opponent with super strength that would severely injure or kill a normal human with little to no discomfort. Although it's not quite as strong as Peter's regeneration ability, it's still incredibly useful in the fight against baddies. Number 3, multiverse travel. Now, although this is also technically not a power that she possesses, this is still a really cool gadget that she's obtained. Starting out as a dimensional travel watch, after getting help from her Earth-3109 counterpart Gwen Maxine Stacy, the Green Goblin of that Earth, our Gwen is given the ticket to the multiverse, a pendant specifically keyed to her body's unique radiation signature. It allows her to hop freely across multiverses, making it easy for some fun Spider-Gwen crossovers. It can also be worn as a bracelet, but I don't know why you would do that because it is one badass pendant. Number 2, her fighting skills. Now, I briefly glossed over this earlier, but unlike many superheroes, Gwen is not a trained fighter and instead uses a freestyle fighting technique, giving her the upper hand against skilled fighters because it adds a layer of unpredictability into the mix. It's also been stated that she learned most of her moves from kung fu movies. However, this definitely has some drawbacks because, according to Cindy Moon, Gwen doesn't know how to actually throw a proper punch. Despite this, Spider-Gwen is still considered one of the best fighters in the Marvel Universe, being able to use her spidey senses and superhuman strength to compensate, able to defeat some of the biggest Spider-Verse villains, including an assassin that was hired to take out George Stacy. And number 1, her symbiote bond. Best known as Gwenum, this takes place right after Gwen loses her powers and her abilities. Once bonded with the symbiote, she fully regained her powers without the need of any isotopes, with a notable power upgrade and all the powers of the main universe's Venom, including his tendrils, unlimited webbing, and a shape-shifting costume. At first, the symbiote kills his victims through lethal radiation due to being bonded with an incompatible host, but by the end of the original series, Gwen had learned how to balance her augmented skills with the symbiote, forming a true symbiosis as she defeated Murdock once and for all. Now, according to Jason Latour, the idea of keeping Gwen and the symbiote bonded was both a way to differentiate her from Spider-Man, and then her own personal arc reconciling her powers and responsibilities as Spider-Woman. Alright, that'll be it for this video, guys. Why not check Spider-Gwen out for yourself in her first appearance, Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, or check her out on the big screen in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Got any other spider-powered individuals that you'd like us to talk about? Why not let us know in the comments below and maybe we'll cover them in a future video. Don't forget to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd to stay up to date on all things nerdy, and make sure to ring that notification bell so you know whenever we upload a video. As always, my name is Jack, thank you so much for watching and stay nerdy, my friends.